All right. So what is one of your favorite scenes from this movie?
All right. So one of my favorite scenes is like the whole crew, like the whole group that's been gathered is kind of just defeated. They don't know what to do next. And they're sitting in this restaurant, and I think it was just after they've had like an argument or something like that. And then out of nowhere, they start playing Major Tom by David Bowie.
Okay, because now it's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this guy just starts like singing it, and then like air guitaring with a broom and like singing into a Coke bottle or something like that. And it's just the most random thing out of nowhere. Like, this is not a musical, but you know.
I was just going to ask, is it a musical?
No, it's not at all.
This is the only song in the whole thing.
And and it's not even related to rockets as far as I know, but maybe it is.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tales of Our Time, a show where we discuss the stories that move us, what makes them so meaningful, and why others could or should find meaning in them as well. I'm your host, Amanda Stevens, although this week you are joining us in our spring special, where rather than necessarily talking about movies that we think are super meaningful, we're talking about the movies that are winners in our hearts, if not at the box office or the critical ratings. So to join me today and to explain more about this not a musical, I have invited one of my dear friends, Chris Carnahan, back to the show. Welcome back, Chris.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
So when I asked you if you knew of any B movies or anything like that that was related, you started giving me a list of films I've never heard of. And that also seemed to just get wilder as you went on.
Yeah, I like eclectic movies for sure, even if they're bad.
I mean, I think that's what makes you the perfect person for this theme that we're working through right now. And so, is there anything you would like to say to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Chris. I've been in Taipei for now. I have to count every time I'm here. I think 16 years now.
And lover of eclectic films and media.
Everything. Anything weird is great.
Yeah, I don't want to just say films. I think
eclectic media activities.
Yes.
Whatever.
To that end, then you sent me the name of this, and I now know why you were saying I'm trying to figure out what to call the name. So would you introduce the film that you've brought for us today?
Yeah, how would I call it? So I just found out yesterday that the English name was The Midnight After. So if you're looking for it, you can find it by that name. I'm not going to try. So it's from Hong Kong, so it's in Cantonese.
Yeah.
But I will translate kind of what it is.
One time.
And it's like, that night, I sat on the bus from Mongok to Taibo in the little red van.
And that whole thing is the name. That night I sat on the bus from Mongok to Taibo.
And it's
in
actually
the little red van.
based on a web novel.
Oh,
yeah,
whoa.
They got really like underground popular.
And
then the director of the movie saw it and like, oh, I need to turn this into a movie.
They were just moved.
But I think some things went terribly wrong.
Have you read the web novel?
So I found it again just to make sure. And if you do end up trying to watch this movie, you will have to read the web novel.
Oh, it doesn't make sense by itself.
No, and it doesn't end by itself.
Oh, it just stops like in the middle of it.
So yeah, I know you're going to ask me later why you think it's a B movie, but this is why.
This is a huge reason.
It doesn't even end. The movie just stops and you're just like, what's going on? Why? Yeah.
Okay, so this is a huge part of it, is the pacing and the way in which it was adapted.
Right. And I think they were going to make a second one, and then just it was so badly received that...
Oh, what a shame. I hate when that happens. Well, sometimes. I think it's such a tragedy whenever you're watching a movie, and whether or not you like it, you know by like the end of the movie, like it's not a finished movie, and you're like, they're not going to finish this movie.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to finish this series.
Yeah.
Like,
reading the review last night, it was funny, the sentence, it was just saying like, it draws you in with the story and you want to know what happens, but you realize very early on that you're never going to get any answers to any of the mysteries that the story is building up.
It's a good introduction to what we're about to get into. I'm also interested because when I was asking, you said, oh, the Wikipedia page for this cites my website.
Yeah, this is Taipei Trends way back in when.
It was on Taipei Trends?
Yeah. So my friend that wrote the review, that's the reason I got tickets to this crazy show in the first place. I just remember when me and the person who went, because it wasn't my friend, we went separate times. When we walked out of the theater, we felt so like
lost.
Disassociated from, like really, we were just like, Do you feel weird like talking to each other? Like yeah, I feel really weird.
Like, do you know what happened in the last like 10 minutes? No, I have no idea.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun. So this is kind of like a journey of a film, you could say.
I think that's why it sticks so well in my mind. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's not beat around the bush anymore. Chris, can you, I think, just do your best to give us a summary of the midnight after?
Yeah. So it's a bus that goes from Mongok to Taibo. It's like a pretty far journey in Hong Kong, and it goes through a tunnel. So it's well known. But basically, people get on this bus, and after they enter the tunnel, everybody disappears. They can't contact anybody, and they have no idea what's going on, and everything is just like gone, and they're missing in time or something like that. So they just like keep going through, and it's kind of interesting because they keep like solving their own personal issues. They find out some pretty unsavory things about some people. The most important story is that one of the characters is trying to get back to his girlfriend. And he like can't get a hold of her, and he's really worried. So everybody else's story, like it's usually dark or something, but like the one we focus on is that one.
Is that one?
Yeah.
And is it that he can't get a hold of his girlfriend for the whole duration that he's in the tunnel? Or is it that like before he went on the bus?
Yeah, no, they exit the tunnel, and then that's when everything changes. Like nobody is left in the world. They're the only people in the world. There's no cars. There's nothing. Yeah. So that's like the
so it's
mystery
kind of a Spirited Away thing.
Yeah.
You've passed through a portal into another world?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, but nobody else is in the world besides everybody who was on the van with you.
Right, and they're like their cell phones aren't working and all that stuff. So, yeah.
So then, when do you hear people's stories? Is it on the ride in, or
no,
is it once you
that
get to
part's
the other
very
side?
quick, actually. It moves by really quick. So they just like they get on, like you don't hear much about it. You see a little bit of like drama, but they go through the tunnel, and that's when the story actually starts. And then they start to learn more about each other as they're trying to figure out what's happening and where everybody is, and like they start going to like different places to find out if they can get contact with anybody. So
then everyone starts trying to get a hold of their like whoever they were going to go next, or even I don't know, like go buy a drink, and they're like, oh, nobody's here.
Yeah, so they kind of end up sticking together. Yeah.
As you would. That's a natural response.
Right. Yeah.
I would be terrified to leave the only people I knew in the world. And all the other places, like in Hong Kong, because it's usually a very busy city, are they like a ghost town? Like it's empty?
Yeah, exactly. The area they're going to is kind of remote anyway.
Okay.
But they do have like tons of like buildings and stuff.
Even remote in Hong Kong is not undeveloped necessarily.
Exactly.
So I assume then they go on this like mission then to try and find out what is happening.
Yeah, and they're also trying to get back, or they're trying to figure out ways to do it. But that's kind of where the movie falls apart also. Because not only is it like a mystery and kind of like a horror in some ways, it's also a comedy.
Okay. So then I guess I want to ask, before I get into like explaining more of why you think that this is a mess, at what point does the movie end? Because so you said it's in the middle of nothing without getting an answer. So this is what I want to know is like, how left out to dry are you? So this group of people comes in, they take this van to the final destination, Taibo. They get there and they're like, oh my God, nobody's here. We have to try and find out what's going on. So they start exploring around them and trying to figure out if there's a way to either go back or connect back to the world that they came from.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so where does it end then?
So they start getting signals finally that don't
like
make sense.
Like a cell phone signal or
and I think they might even be like lost in time signals as well.
Okay.
But they get this idea that they need to go to this place on like the top of a hill or a mountain. So they start making their way there. And then for the first time in the movie, you see people, like basically soldiers, suited up, attacking the van. They leave it to your imagination, like maybe capturing them or doing something with them. And that's where it ends.
Were they in the van trying to drive up the mountain, or they just...
They were, yeah.
Okay, and then on the way there, these soldiers attack the van.
Yeah, they stop the van, they stop everybody, and there's chaos, and then you don't really know what happens, and then the movie ends.
And it just ends in that moment of chaos.
Exactly. That's it.
Like JoJo theme, or like da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, God.
So why did it...
How
I understand why people don't like it. I understand it, but I love rewatching the movie. And I don't... Yeah, I can't explain it. But.
Yeah. Okay, so then into... Let's pull apart then. What makes this... Well, what went wrong with this movie? Initially, right off the bat, like, it's unfinished.
Right, yes.
It feels like it's unfinished. And then number two, it bites off more than it can chew.
Yeah, for sure. Very disconnected storytelling.
Can you speak more to that? Like, what is a good demonstration of that?
I think the movie tried to do too much compared to the web novel. But also I think it was just like, you'll be in a deep conversation and then suddenly they're doing something insane that just does not make sense. I liked it though. That's what part of the charm for me is. It's so captivating. I don't know why. And even for a B movie, like the style of it and like the cinematography is actually decent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything looks good.
Yeah.
But it's like non sequitur.
It's a mess, yeah. There's just like, there's parts where like, you could call it drama, or it's like people figuring stuff out, or like making decisions, but you never really truly understand how they came to their conclusion, like what was going on in their head, or like what triggered them in a conversation. It's just like suddenly out of nowhere, something happened.
Like the Major Tom thing.
Yeah, exactly. And
Like
it
they're all
just
sitting
jumps
around.
around like that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I saw another review, which was really funny. And this person was extremely angry, fair, about the movie.
Oh, like one of those 1-star reviews that's like, I went to see this movie and here's my whole tirade.
Because a lot of people were saying like this is an allegory for like politics in Hong Kong and stuff. Like, and like they didn't read the web series
novel.
either.
They just saw it basically like blind.
Yeah, they said they saw the symbolism stuff. I didn't see that, but I just liked the movie. But the person that was giving the really bad review, they're like, this is all you need to know about the movie, which is the movie was directed by a guy named Fruit. About a web series that was written by a guy named Pizza. And that's the kind of story you're getting. So, yeah.
Because I was going to say, it almost like just hearing this, to me, my first mind, like as somebody who likes to engage in a lot of this like online, probably self-published horror, specifically in like the video game genre, my first thought was like, oh, is this an allegory for like there was a crash and everybody's dead?
Right, yeah.
Right, like that to me, again, and I also haven't read the web novel, so I don't know if there is supposed to be a real like secret meaning there, but it's like I can see especially if it is so disconnected, I can see the want to read meaning into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody said that maybe, and I don't know how they came to this conclusion, maybe they were astronauts that came back to Earth and like got lost in like time or something like that, or another dimension. I have no idea how they came to that conclusion.
That's insane. But that seems to take it way, way more theoretical in the beginning than if you see them getting on the van.
Yeah.
And then the van would be this spaceship.
Maybe.
But I guess that's it, right? It's just trying to read the meaning into something that is otherwise like disconnected and doesn't seem to make any sense.
Right.
Okay.
And definitely, if you want to know the rest of the story, read the series. It's in Cantonese, but now it's easier. So.
Okay, so then let's get into why do you like this movie anyway, despite the fact that it is unfinished?
Yeah, I think for me, like, first of all, I do like the way that it's filmed. And it is funny in parts, but I think it captures a wide range of like different stories quickly, which is nice. Plus the mystery, like right off the bat, is really sucks
It
you
is
in.
nice to get it immediately
Yeah.
instead of like making you wait through something to immediately plunge you into like what's happening, what's going on.
And I don't know, for me, I feel like the way that it jumps around from like emotion to emotion kind of puts you in the same headspace as the people in the bus. Like I think it basically accomplishes its job of being so disorienting that like you come out of it and you're just like, I don't know what I just watched, but I want to watch it again.
I kind of want to, but like maybe it's perhaps through accident or perhaps on purpose, it accomplishes the job of trying to make you solve it. Like, I guess you could look at it in that way. As like, it is trying to make you solve the movie.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, but then it fails the part of actually giving you a conclusion and like bringing it all back together. I think that's why when we left the theater, we were just like, I feel like nothing makes sense. Life isn't real. Well,
because I would say, like, I know, I don't know if I've talked about this on the show before, but like I have come around to the idea that like a movie or a book doesn't necessarily have to wrap up everything. And I think that that's, for me, that's coming from like as an American, like American media almost always gives you like the whole rest of their story. It'll be like in a text blog or whatever. That's and everybody lived happily ever after, and their daughter went to college, and the dog lived until a ripe old age, and the grandpa was happily buried, and nobody had to file for bankruptcy. Like, you'll get all the information you need to move on. But that's not necessarily the case in a lot of like Japanese films or European films. They'll just be like, and that's the end of this story, and then they went and did other stuff, but we don't know what that was.
Yeah, and maybe that's also like why I can accept it too, is because like watching a lot of anime growing up, like a lot of them end and you're just like, okay.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit unfinished.
Yeah.
So I can kind of accept that. I'm also, I guess that is a question. There was never any information that came out to tell you whether or not it was like a purposeful, supposed to end in this kind of chaos, or whether it was like, well, we'd intended to do more, but we didn't get the funding.
Yeah, no, I think it's the latter, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I read an interview early on, because this movie's from 2014. So it was by the director that said, like, yeah, they just didn't fund the second part of the movie. So.
Shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Can I ask you, before I ask for the one phrase subtitle, you said that it goes through like a lot of these characters like really quickly and kind of like addressing their problem with like possibly problematic themes. Is there like one of these, it seems like sort of a vignette based storytelling thing. Is there one of these that like you remember that stood out to you?
Not really. Again, it's like they never get deep enough or like profound enough for you to remember. Because it just goes through quick, but it isn't interesting. Like, it's just like a collage quickly of like, it's interesting to look at. There's another one where another guy in the group. So he ends up being a bad guy, and I believe he gets beat down deservedly. And there's also a couple other people, like they disagree with a group or whatever, but of course they stick with the group because they're scared. And like, I think it's like a lot of overcoming small emotions and stuff like that. But also like filtering out who should not get to stay in the group. And stuff like that, yeah.
In that way, kind of like the survivalist pick your group.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, oh, the guy who gets beat down, who ends up being a bad guy, it's like, oh, he's predatory perhaps.
Yeah.
And only wants to hurt other people. So we've decided we don't want him in our group anymore.
Right, yeah.
Do you ever find out what happens to the people who get kicked out?
No.
They just disappear also. Theoretically, well, from the story they disappear. We don't know if they actually like disappear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, like, not a lot happened in the end, so, yeah.
So, if you could give the midnight after, that's what it's called in English, if you could give the midnight after a one phrase subtitle of your very own, what would it be?
Ooh, that's rough. Okay.
Yeah. I know. After discussing it with you, it seems like it might be monumental.
Yeah, sure. I think it would be like, based on the English title with that name, we never got the midnight. So I don't know how they explain like how we're gonna get an after. That's not really a subtitle, but more like there is no after midnight.
The midnight after, there is no after.
Yeah, there is no after.
There is no after.
Yeah.
Then what is actually the last question in this spring series is, if you could give the midnight after a rating, a 5-star rating, what would that be for you? 1 is bad and 5 is very good.
Yeah.
What rating would you give it?
Okay. Well, for me personally, I mean, the reason I picked it is because it does like live rent free in my mind, honestly.
You can't stop thinking about it.
I can't. So probably a 3, which is not great.
Pretty solidly in the middle.
Yeah, it's not great, but like I do not appreciate not having an ending, but it was enough to entertain me a couple times. So.
You don't feel like what did we say? The engagement factor overcomes the fault of not answering for itself.
Yeah. Plus, like, it was a little bit amusing to show it to other people and have them get angry with me.
Oh, okay. So this is a social experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Sure,
Watch this movie. Enjoy
so I'm not alone in being angry.
Share it with other people. I can appreciate that. I did that with Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, okay.
I won't tell everybody here why that's a good one to do with as well, but I would say it's a good movie and you should watch it and then watch it with somebody else who doesn't know the answer. And that's a fun one. That's a fun way to experience things too.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, thank you for coming back on the show.
Sure.
Thank you for telling me about something I definitely never would have found out about on my own.
Yeah.
I think
now that you know the disappointment awaiting you, maybe give it a shot.
I actually do want to watch it and try and figure out if I can see what you're talking about. But to all of you listeners out there, thank you for your time. This is Tales of Our Time on Radio Taiwan International. And this has been part of our spring special where we discuss the movies that are winners in our hearts, if not at the critical reception or the box office. Today, we were talking about a movie called The Midnight After. There is no after.
Yeah.
At least a tale of our time in our hearts. And we'll see you next time.
Hello from Radio Taiwan International. Check out our Google Podcasts. Search Taiwan Collective and Taiwan Voices for a collection of shows where we cover topics from serious to silly. And also visit us on the website at en.rti.org.tw and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. See you later.